All we really know about the BBC in America is kind of, you know, we have PBS, so it's people in Edwardian outfits and everyone speaks really well. You know, I mean, when I came to England, I just had no idea what to expect.
R.E.M. and the BBC go back a long way, right back to 1984 in fact. There's a rich archive of great songs with performances to match, so sit back and let R.E.M., Peter Buck, Mike Mills and Michael Stipe take you through their life at the BBC.
Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. We're after the same rainbows and waiting round the bend. My huckleberry friend, Moon River, and me.
I always liked Moon River because, as a child, because there's a part about my Huckleberry friend.
Yes.
And my favorite cartoon was Huckleberry Hound. And so as a child, I thought it was about my favorite cartoon, the song, and of course it's not.
You know, it's honestly, it's just about as hard to do a good cover as it is to write a song, so you might as well write them. But, you know.
Well, pulling out, for us to do something like an a cappella version of Moon River, which we did almost every night for at least one tour, you know, you better have a good hold of your audience if you're going to do that. And almost every night they were silent and respectful, because it's a beautiful song, beautiful piece of music, which is why we were doing it. And they were giving us our props by being quiet and letting us do it. And I think most of them enjoyed it. And every once in a while you get some idiot that would yell. But, you know, it was nice to take the audience into a place that they might not have expected to go.
the thing that I remember most about the whistle test is they had the interviews, and they interviewed Ray Davis and Edwin Starr, but they didn't show up for the interviews, so they had some BBC like grip sitting in pretending to be Edwin Starr. He goes, I kept saying "Good God, y'all," and I just said, if I could put one more "Good God, y'all" in that song in War, we got us a hit. And it was just the funniest interview, and I can never hear that song again without thinking about this English guy with glasses doing his Edwin Starr impersonation.
I think I had the live bear suit on, and I had really, really long hair. My hair was wet. There was a shower backstage, and I was able to wash my body. I was able to take a shower, is what we call it here, and here in our place, our country. And so my hair was really long, but it was even longer still because it was wet. I remember that. And that suit was stolen shortly after that.
We also, at that show, that was the period where if we got to do more than one song, we always did a song that hadn't been recorded yet. So we did Old Man Kenzie, which
That's right.
at the time was just something we were doing in our set. I think we'd written it like a week or two previous. And I think we did the same thing when we did The Tube. We did South Central Rain, which wasn't recorded yet.
We're talking about, this is the Stone Age. We're talking about, it's remarkable that the footage even exists anywhere.
And there were only 3 channels on British TV at the time anyway, right? I mean, it was hard to catch things.
You'd do this stuff and it would just go out and you just have no idea what it was like. Was that good? Was it bad? And then, for me, it was just kind of like, that was weird. What happened? Are we done? Are they going to play this some other time, or was that just live? And, we didn't do a lot of TV in America because there just isn't much, So we were kind of trying to figure out what the hell's going on here.
Hello, I'm sorry I lost myself. I think I thought she was someone else. Should we talk about the weather? Hi, hi, hi. Should we talk about the government? Hi, 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 hi. Hello, I saw you, I know you, I knew you. I think I can remember your name. Hello, I'm sorry I lost myself. I think I thought she was someone else. Should we talk about the weather? Hi, hi, hi. Should we talk about the government? Hi, 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 hi. Hello, my friend, are you visible today? You know I never knew that it could be so strange, strange. Hello, I'm sorry I lost myself. I think I thought she was someone else. Should we talk about the weather? Hi, hi, hi. Should we talk about the government? Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 hi.
this didn't happen in England, but it happened nearby in France. We did a TV show, and I know that they were taping us during rehearsal, and they wanted to cut it together to make it look better. And I was really upset at the idea of that. I wanted it to be really pure. So with each rehearsal, knowing full well that they were taping, I removed one garment of clothing. By the time something kept screwing up, and by the time we got to the actual taping for the show, I was bare-chested. I had long hair, and I had an earring in my ear. And we did, I want to say the song was The One I Love on this French TV show. The producers were so angry at me because they had finally caught on to what I was doing. I was not allowing them to cut together these different performances. But at the end of the song, I did this kind of Jim Morrison thing. I leaned into the microphone, and my earring got caught on the pop screen of the microphone, and I was stuck to the microphone on live television.
You know, we always insisted on trying to play live, and a lot of TV shows, some of them weren't set up for that and didn't know how to deal with it. So either we had to occasionally lip sync, which we didn't really like to do, or we had to bring everybody screaming into this new technology of actually, you know, performing live on a TV show, which was just very strange for them. So everybody was kind of feeling their way.
I don't think we ever actually lip synced, Mike. I think the only time that we did it was when we did Orange Crush, and I got upset and I unbuttoned my shirt and did it with a megaphone.
Yeah, we didn't do it very
And
often.
They got really mad at me for doing that.
That would have been
Top of the Pops
That was
in
Top of the
80,
Pops,
whatever, yeah.
yeah.
With, we've got a fuzz box, we're going to use it.
And we know how to use it.
And,
Dancing with her giant pencil.
I remember really well that we were all standing together. They were on right before us. We were all backstage getting ready to go on. And that Kylie song, Put Your Hand on Your Heart. And for some reason, all of us knew the little dance. And so all 8 of us would put your hand on your heart and tell me. And I was just like, whatever. This is just a weird life.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, life is bigger. It's bigger. You are not me. Links that I will go to. Distance in your eyes. Oh no, said too much. I set it up. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion. Trying to keep up you, and I don't know if I can do it. Oh no, said too much. I haven't said enough. I thought that I heard you laughing. I thought that I heard you sing. I think I thought I saw you try. Every whisper, every waking hour, I'm choosing my confessions, trying to keep an eye on you, like a hurt, lost and blinded fool. Oh no, said too much. I set it up. Consider this. Consider this the hint of the century. Consider this a slip that brought me to my knees, pale. What if all these fantasies come flailing around? Now I've said too much. I thought that I heard you laughing. I thought that I heard you sing. I just a dream. That was just a dream. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion, trying to keep up with you, and I don't know if I can do it. Oh, now said too much, haven't said enough. I thought that I heard you laughing, I thought that I heard you sing. I think I thought I saw you try. That was just a dream. Try, cry, lie, try. That was just a dream, just a dream, just a dream.
We're R.E.M. You're watching The Late Show. That was Losing My Religion, our current single. This is another song off of Out of Time called Half a World Away.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
This could be the saddest dance I've ever seen, to turn to a miracle. I lied. My mind was racing, as it always will. My hands tired, my heart aches. I'm half a world away. Here my head sworn to go it along and hold it along, hold it along, hold it, go it along and hold it along. Oh, 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 this lonely deep set hollow, half a world away. My shoes are gone, my life spent. I've had too much to drink. I didn't think, and I didn't think of you. Guess that's all I needed, to go it along, hold it along, hold it along, hold it, go it along, hold it along. Oh, 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 this lonely world is wasted. Pathetic eyes, high life, like tides to sea. The storm, it came up strong. It shook the trees and blew away our fear. I couldn't even hear, to go it along and hold it along, hold it along, hold it, go it along and hold it along. Oh, oh, oh. Go it along and hold it along, hold it along, hold it. Blackbirds backwards, forwards and fall. Oh, 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 this could be the saddest dusk ever seen. Turn to a miracle. I lied. My mind was racing, as it always will. My hands tired, my heart aches. I'm half a world away to go.
That
was
was
that? I don't remember.
Well, that was '91. We did the whole. That was like a great thing. For some reason, we decided we wanted to do a train tour.
Well, because of the Gulf War. We didn't want to get shot down in a commercial airplane.
Yeah, or it was more that the flights were being canceled and stuff. So we booked these trains on the car, and we'd do these TV shows and do acoustic performances, and then get all the local money we had, buy wine, get on the train, drive overnight, get to the next place. So we did that for weeks on end, doing just our little, 8-song acoustic set, and it was. I remember it being really fun. We didn't always play songs from the record, and we did some covers, and it was just kind of a cool thing.
We've been waiting for the critical or audience backlash ever since Murmur came out. Murmur got so much respect, and everyone loved it. And we said, well, they're going to hate the next record. And then when they liked Reckoning, we said, well, it's the next one they're going to hate. And we just kept waiting, and it never seemed to happen for the longest time. So, we did this record thinking, well, people have come along with us on whatever turns we've taken up to this point. Maybe they'll come with us on this one, or maybe they won't. But either way, it's what we have to do.
I remember when we did Losing My Religion, there's that little riff in the verse, da-da-da-da-da-da. And I kept saying, I'll fix that. I'll get a better riff. And I just never could think of a better riff. No, the other one, the one between the one that goes,
Right.
That part.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But I kept thinking, I'm kind of just doing a scale. How boring is that? I'm doing like a single note scale up and down. And I just remember thinking, I'll think of something really good to go in there. And then it just went on and on. I just went, I'll forget it, whatever. It's good enough, and now I can't imagine there anything else being there. But you never know what it is until it's done.
You did spend a long time in London making your third album.
Yeah, that was pretty great. We, I got really used to taking the tube everywhere, and I saw tons of shows. It was really nice because we didn't have any money at all, but we're living in Mayfair because the dollar was really strong. So literally we were like stealing bananas from people's fridge when you go to parties, but then going back to this really nice
5-floor flat in Mayfair. Driving every day, I learned how to drive on the wrong side. It was great.
And I didn't, but I did learn London by the tube map, and that's still how I know London. I can still be one tube stop away from somewhere and have no idea how to get there, unless I'm on the tube.
We have a band who have sold over 30 million records worldwide. You will not see this anywhere else. Via satellite from Tokyo, Japan, this is R.E.M!
I know you've seen her. She's a sad tomato. She's 3 miles up that road. Walking down the street. Will I never meet her? She's a real woman child. Oh, my kiss, breath, turpentine. When can I make myself be faker to make her mine? I am smitten. I'll do anything. I'll do anything. My kiss better than time. My crush with eyeliner.
I remember someone saying, "Oh, you're going to be on," was that Top of the Pops? And I'm like, well, what do you want to do? And someone just said, I don't know, bear costumes. You know, I mean, it wasn't super well thought out, but it was a really fun little shoot. You know, like a lot of locals, and then Grantley Phillips and the Grantley Buffalo guys donned some animal costumes, and it was a really fun little thing.
It was soundcheck for one of our shows in Japan, right?
Yeah, at the Budokan.
That's right.
The Budokan.
Was it?
That's all we ever played in those days,
That's
I think.
true. So it's, you know, local Japanese kids and Grantley Buffalo parading around as, it's like The Shining or something.
Yeah, everyone was trying to crack us up. You know, while we're playing, everyone's doing the funny little bear dances. And, you know, I mean, we did it in 5 minutes. It was kind of like we got to do this whole thing in about 10 minutes. Let's go. And
Is that kind of thing fun, or is it a bit of a nuisance?
no, it is fun. It's so absurd that you're just like, oh yeah, this is kind of cool. I mean, it's just, you know, we don't take it super seriously anyway. So, hence the bear costumes and the, you know, everything else.
When you're on the road for that long, everything is, everyone's hyper adrenalized and also incredibly tired all the time. So everything becomes a little bit surreal anyway. And the idea of performing a song like Crush with Eyeliner in Tokyo at Soundcheck at Budokan with dancing bears around us.
Made perfect sense.
Why not?
The loophole in the game of life. Yeah, 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 yeah. Andy Kaufman in a wrestling match. Yeah, 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 yeah. Monopoly 21, checkers and chess. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mr. Fred Blassie in a breakfast mess. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's play Twister, let's play Risk. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'll see you in heaven if you make the list. Yeah, 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 yeah. So Andy, did you hear about this one? Tell me, are you locked in the punch? Hey Andy, are you goofing on Elvis? Hey baby, are you having fun? If you believe they put a man on the moon, if you believe there's nothing up his sleeve, that nothing is cool. Moses went walking with the staff of wood. Yeah, 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 yeah. Newton got beaten by the apple girl. Yeah, 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 yeah. Egypt was troubled by the horrible asp. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mr. Charles Darwin had the balls to ask. Yeah, 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 yeah. So Andy, did you hear about this one? Tell me, are you locked in the punch? Hey Andy, are you goofing on Elvis? Hey baby, are we losing touch? If you believe they put a man on the moon, if you believe there's nothing up his sleeve, that nothing is cool. Cool! Here's a little magic for the never believers. Yeah, 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 yeah. Here's a little ghost for the offering. Yeah, 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 yeah. Here's a truck stop instead of St. Peter's. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mr. Andy Kaufman's gone wrestling. Yeah, 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 yeah. So Andy, did you hear about this one? Tell me, are you locked in the punch? Hey Andy, are you goofing on Elvis singing, baby? Are we losing touch? If you believe they put a man on the moon, if you believe there's nothing up his sleeve, that nothing is cool. Had this body of music that we knew was really great, and we were really leaning on Michael to finish it and put something really great on it. And I know that must have been just a huge amount of pressure, and it was literally the last day in the studio, not just a recording, but a mixing and everything. So we had to get it written, sung, background vocals, everything had to be put on it that day, and then finish mixing it. So, I mean, the pressure was enormous, but we knew we had something that we thought would be really good, and it turned out to be.
So I took a walk around the block with my Walkman, and we were hanging out a lot with the band Nirvana. And the best way to fill up a song is to pick a word and repeat it as many times as possible. And so I decided to try to put more yes into that song than Kurt Cobain had ever put into a Nirvana song. And that's how I got the proto. Is it the pre-chorus, or what is that part in the verse? I guess
Just between the lines.
Yeah, between the lines and the verse. Yeah.
For some reason, it just seemed like everything around that time, you just kind of write it and it would just show up, and then Michael would sing something pretty quickly, and all of a sudden you kind of go, oh, that's a song, yeah, it's finished.
When I hear music that really moves me, I see a landscape, or I picture a landscape, and my job as a lyricist is to kind of people that landscape with a little story or a little narrative. So the music for me that really moves me as a fan, I see this vista, and then I have to figure out what the story is going to be within that.
That was part of the key to the success, I think, is that people could, especially in college when you're trying to find yourself and become whatever you're going to be, to have music that is incredibly emotional and evocative and powerful, and yet leaves you plenty of room to wear it as code or to put yourself inside it. It was the perfect combination.
Yeah, the intention was to invoke or evoke an emotion. Which one?
Evoke.
Thank you. And not so much to tell a straight narrative kind of story within the lyric. But that, that changed. I mean, I did change. I matured or saw that something I'd come to the end of something that I could do as a lyricist, and recognize that, and then push myself to try to do something different.
Receiving department, 3 a.m. Staff cuts have socked up the overage. Directives are posted, no callbacks, complaints. Everywhere is calm. Hong Kong is present, Taipei wakes all talk of circadian rhythm. I see today with the newsprint, gray my night is covered. Headache, gray day sleeper. Day sleeper. squeezing through heaven and Valentine. My bed is pulling me, gravity, day sleeper, day sleeper, day sleeper, day sleeper, day sleeper.
If you can write a song that sounds like it's always been, that's fantastic. I mean, that's a great thing. That's very different than saying, well, that just sounds like another R.E.M. song. But if you can write something that doesn't sound like it's from 1985 or 1995 or any other time in particular, then that's just about a perfect song. If you got a song that stands, no pun intended, out of time, then that is really kind of what you're shooting for as a songwriter.
They are, without doubt, one of the biggest bands in the world. Will you please welcome R.E.M.
Sweets pop skill, water higher sound, named by a poet, imitation of life. Like a koi in a frozen pond, like a goldfish in a bowl. I don't want to see you try. That sugar cane, that tasted good, that cinnamon, that's Hollywood. Come on, no one can see you try. You want the greatest thing since bread came sliced. You got it all, you got it sized. Like a Friday fashion show teenager, freezing in the corner, trying to look like you don't try. That sugar cane, that tasted good, that cinnamon, that's Hollywood. Come on, no one can see you try. No one can see you cry. That sugar cane, that tasted good, that's freezing rain, that's what you could. Come on, no one can see you cry. This sugar cane, this lemonade, this hurricane, I'm not afraid. Come on, no one can see me cry. This lightning storm, this avalanche, this tidal wave, I'm not afraid. Come on, no one can see me cry. Sugar cane, it tasted good, that's who you are, that's what you could. Come on, no one can see you try. That sugar cane, that tasted good, that's who you are, that's what you could. Come on, no one can see you cry.
Of course, the big change with you guys came when your original drummer Bill Berry left. What sort of difference did that make to the dynamic of the band?
Massive. I mean, we're still sorting it out, but I think we've finally gotten to the place where we need to be. But, you know, it changed everything musically, emotionally, professionally. Just, you know, it literally rewrote every plan that we had. Every blueprint that we had was out the window. So it was very much like starting over. And you know, I think we did well with it, but it was certainly a challenge.
I'm reminded of Janet Street Porter's autobiography, Baggage, My Childhood. It's like each of us became children again, and we all had the baggage of having been in a band together for 17 years. But then having to kind of readdress each other as bandmates because the dynamic had shifted so dramatically when Bill left.
You know, we couldn't just plow on and be a rock band. I mean, that would have been phony and difficult, and you know, it would have been like replacing Bill. And we weren't really trying to replace Bill. We were trying to be the band that we were without Bill, with the help of great drummers like Joey Warnaker and Bill Rieflin. You know, that helped us to become that, but it wasn't like we could just all of a sudden plug a drummer in and be a rock band. We had to go down these paths, and you know, we saw it as an opportunity rather than something that was foisted upon us. It was an opportunity to explore and throw all the rules out the window and to make records that we wouldn't have otherwise made. And you know, who's to say? I mean, if Bill stayed in the band, we might have sucked even worse. I mean, there's just no telling what kind of records we'd have made had things not changed. But I think we're all pretty proud of how we came through that, you know, eventually.
In the meantime, there are songs like, you know, Daysleeper and The Great Beyond and Imitation of Life and off the last record, Electron Blue, which is one of my favorite recorded songs that we've ever done, probably in my top 10 of favorite songs. So there was a lot of high points, a lot of low points, but as Mike said, I think it's a path that we had to take in order to get to where we are. We were just being honest to ourselves.
I waited for your call. These rivers of suggestion are driving me away. The trees are bent, the cities wash away. The city on the river is a girl without a dream. I'm sorry. Follow suit. The trees are bent, the cities wash away. The city in the mountains, and there's a boy without a dream. I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
guys approach your own back catalogue in the sense of how do you choose the songs that you play live?
I like the ones that are easy to sing, and some of them are not.
You know, for me, it's just, does it feel like a song I still want to play? You know, especially in the older days when we were just writing them at sound check and recording them in a relatively quick manner and then going on the road. Some you just, a year later, go, you know, I never cared for that song all that much. And some are songs you really still like. I mean, South Central Rain, we've probably played at least once on every tour since the record.
Yeah.
And you know,
But it's really fun to play.
It's a fun song and it holds up and it feels like it fits with what we're doing currently. We played it 3 days ago.
We also played Auctioneer, and I woke up singing that song every morning since 3 days ago.
And we hadn't played that since a disastrous performance in like 1986.
Yeah.
I remember particularly being in Germany, and I guess at that point it was only a year old, but it's a real fast song. We started it, and somehow there was one point where all four of us were in a different part of the song, and we just looked at each other, and nobody could get back to where we're supposed to be, and it just kept going on, and it went on for about a minute, and then it just kind of stopped. And we just looked at each other, and the crowd was completely silent, and we never played it again. Every time I read it in the set list, I'd go, man, I don't know. I don't even know what happened last time. So we played it for the first time last summer. And I just remember thinking, gosh, were we listening to the Gang of Four a lot?
All the way to Reno, dusted the non-believers, challenged the laws of chance. Now sweet, you're so sugar sweet, you may as well have had kicked me, fastened on your sleeve. You know what you are, you're gonna be a star. You know what you are, you're gonna be a star. It's written on your feet, your Achilles heel is the tendency you've known that from the beginning. You didn't have to go so far. You didn't have to go. You know what you are. You're gonna be a star. You know what you are. You're gonna be a star. Whistle the rules of change. You know what you are, you're gonna be a star. You know what you are, you're gonna be a star. You know what you are, you're gonna be a star. Star, you are, you're gonna be a star.
You know, everyone wants to wake up one day and be someone else, and you can do that musically. It's not always that you're successful being that person, but it's something you could get away with.
You know, I mean, when it's felt like time for us to take a career left-hand turn, you know, whether it's moving into acoustic things or back into electric guitars or into weird keyboards, you know, it's entirely our prerogative. And if we feel like that's the move we want to make, then we make it.
You know, it's not a hugely original observation, but as you get older, fun kind of disappears. You know, there's pleasure, that's great, but, you know, you can't live your life for pleasure. But actual fun, you know, that, for me, it's kind of playing music.
It's quiet now, and what it brings is everything comes calling back. A brilliant night, I'm still awake. I looked ahead, I'm sure I saw you there. You don't need me to tell you now that nothing can compare. You might have laughed if I told you. You might have hidden the frown. You might have succeeded in changing me. I might have been turned around. It's easier to leave than to be left behind. Leaving was never my proud. Leaving New York never easy. It's pulling me up. I saw the light fading out. You find it in your heart. It's pulling me apart. You find it in your heart. I told you forever, I love you forever. I told you I love you, I love you forever. I told you forever, I love you forever. I told you I love you, I love you forever. You never, you told me forever. Succeeded in changes, pulling me. I might have been turned around. It's easier to leave than to be left behind. Leaving was never